Welcome to the Believe in the Land show. My name is Andy Billman. Let's take a look back at the week that was in Cleveland sports. That was a face-planting Sunday and a sad Sunday with the farewell to Terry Francona, which we'll do in the back half of the show. It was a sad ending for him as we wished off Miguel Cabrera. The Tigers did a lot of nice things for him. I must admit, even though I am not a Tigers or Miggy guy per se, I was happy to see him go with his mom and dad crying. That was really nice to say. Seeing all that stuff, and we'll get to that later. But more importantly, we'll get more to Francona and the Guardians. First, the Browns. How's your Sunday going? Jeez. It's amazing. You think you start to figure out the Browns. And then you're reminded, like a good roller coaster, that's not over until they say you may now leave the ride. The Browns, I was feeling so good at 11 a.m. Fiance and I had a nice weekend. Kids and I were laughing, went out to a nice dinner. My son cooked for a few people. He was very happy with that. It was a big weekend. Feeling good. Sad about Francona leaving, but the Browns, oh my gosh. They're rolling. We are rolling. Woo-hoo! Deshaun Watson has a shoulder injury, questionable. Can't be that serious. Can't be that serious. Why is Kevin Stefanski saying hopeful on Friday? Why are you saying that, Kev? Because he knew what we all should have known. That something was up with the Deshaun Watson shoulder. No one had a beat on it. No one. In fact, it wasn't even a news story until it was declared about 11:30 that Deshaun Watson was out for the game. I was packing up and doing other things. That's a big injury, obviously. And then it gets revealed during the telecast that Deshaun Watson might have a rotator cuff injury. What? We're going to get to the injury and to the bye week here in a minute. That's a big blow. And that is not a little injury. That's not like, oh man, he has an ankle sprain. Geez, like he has a sore shoulder. No. Sounds like there might be some damage. Now, it doesn't sound like it's surgery. But damage, not good. I went from eating Cheerios to getting peed on my Cheerios. My milk, my coffee is a little sour. Grabbing the Baileys at that point. That was a rough news story. Because of the miracle of trades, we don't have Josh Dobbs. He's playing for the Arizona Cardinals. And even I said, we should be okay. I was wrong. And Andrew Berea was even more wrong. Because DTR got the start. And it's one thing to start against the Cardinals or the Colts or the Texans or the Bears. But when you start off against the Ravens, I have to admit, from that moment on, I didn't have much confidence about the Browns winning the game. Rookie quarterback, no Nick Chubb, playing at home against Ravens. GL, good luck. Good luck. And the Browns, I mean, that's just a terrible, terrible spot for DTR. Terrible. To put a rookie quarterback in his first ever game against a team like the Ravens, even at home, it's not fair. It's not fair. And the Ravens did what the Ravens do. They bullied us. They pushed us around. Blew us out 20-3. Blew us out. Not good. That was a terrible performance. And what bothered me the most is how we lost. Again, you lose with DTR quarterback. Makes sense. You lose 10-6, 13-7. Okay. Happens. 13-3. All right. I get it. I understand. The Browns, and more importantly, Coach Stefanski, who actually probably knew the extent of the injury, did not seem prepared for DTR and had a terrible game plan. And that's number one point here in this game, in this loss. What was Kevin thinking? All right, I will answer that for you. He was not thinking. In fact, he was doing anything but thinking. Just some of these play calls and some of these moments in this game were bizarre. Bizarre. And the defense came out playing well early. I think the win got taken out of him as the game went on. And then Lamar Jackson became Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson had a wonderful game. Really played well. Really played well. Early on in this game, Browns made plays on defense. 3 and out. But you could tell after that first drive, it was 7 plays, but only 22 yards. And then that second drive, that's where I really started getting frustrated with play calling. 2nd and 3, 3rd and 3, after you get a good 7 yards from Ford. You're going to let DTR rip it? I mean, come on. Making deep passes across the middle. Passes downfield on 3rd and 3, 2nd and 3. Of course he's going to get picked off. You're not putting yourself or your young quarterback in situations and plays to win the game. Kevin, we're here to win the game. Not play aggressively. Not to show off your play sheet. But you kind of felt that way. 2nd and 3, 3rd and 3, second drive. You're going to throw the ball downfield. With a rookie quarterback. Sometimes I wonder if Kevin Stefanski knows the game that he's in. Because I say that. It's like rookie quarterback. 2nd and 3, 3rd and 3. He passed deep twice in a row. Twice. How? How's that possible? Not to be outdone after the 1 play. I'm sorry, not 1 yard, 1 play touchdown for Lamar Jackson. The Browns got the ball back. He didn't. Kevin Stefanski said, "Oh, you like those 2 plays? Wait till you see this." On 3rd and 1, Browns actually driving the ball. He goes for a deep pass that is incomplete, and thankfully, a pass interference is called. And it was the right call, but you're going to throw the ball deep again on 3rd and 1. The rookie quarterback. Okay. You get away with it. Ball's now inside the red zone. Remember that, because that's the last time you'll see that for the Browns today. They got 1 play inside the red zone. 1. Why do you say that, Andy? Because then after that, the very next play, Kevin Stefanski said, "Hey, you know what? I got a play call I love to call once a game. The old end around to Elijah Moore. Hasn't worked all season." Well, I'm ready to ramp it up. Let's go. Let's get this going. Only lost 20 yards. Could have lost 30. Lost 20 yards on a play. Thankfully, after 2 self-destructing plays by DTR and the Browns, gaining, a good 5 yards back. Thankfully, Dustin Hopkins, who is a competent kicker, actually took the ball and put it through the uprights to make it 7-3. Miracle. That was it for the Browns offense today. But those play calls and how a team with a rookie quarterback, I mean, it's one thing to run the ball. Okay. But they only ran the ball 25 times. Get rid of 36 passes, but they never allowed the running game to get going in this game. Just bizarre. Very bizarre. And they never allowed its strengths to play in this game. And Kevin Stefanski calling those play calls, it takes the wind out of your sails on offense. And I think it took some of the wind out of their sails on defense. I'm sure the defense is looking around at each other saying, did you see that? What was that? Just terrible decision-making, terrible play calling, and not understanding your situation or surroundings. It's almost like Kevin Stefanski said, yeah, I don't have a 2.0 game plan, a DTR play, so this is all I got. Sorry. And, man, did it roll. It rolled fast for our Browns. My God. My God. Stefanski's poor play calling is, I think, actually number one in this game. You can lose with DTR in this game. We all understand he's a rookie playing against a very good team. But you can't set yourself up to face plant and then get kicked in the teeth and dragged across the street on top of it. Just inexplicable. Just inexplicable. Very frustrating as a fan. Again, expectations of winning after that, of course they go down. Of course. But that doesn't mean you can do that. Just lost. Terrible job by Stefanski. Terrible. Just terrible. I'm sorry. I know he's a nice man. I just don't like him as a coach. Don't like it. Got it. That's how this game started off, though. Play calling like that. Set the tone for the game. We'll get back to more of the game in the next break. Welcome back to the Believe in the Land show. My name is Andy Billman. You can check out all of the post-game reports for the Browns. Every frustration in my voice during Kevin Stefanski's excellent play calling in the first half. Or reviewing the wins. Reviewing more games. We'll be there for the Niners game and all the games throughout the regular season at Official Cleveland Sports on Instagram. That is at Official Cleveland Sports on Instagram. Check it out. Also, check out BelieveInTheLand.com. That is BelieveInTheLand.com. Finally, check out the Believe in the Land YouTube page. Believe in the Land YouTube page. This is the Believe in the Land show, and my name is Andy Billman, and welcome back. Okay, so the Stefanski. So that's point number one of why we lost this game. Point two is the biggest physical one. And again, as soon as this got announced, the game is kind of donezo. DTR starting quarterback, rookie starting quarterback playing against the Ravens. I mean, good luck. There's no way. No way. We're not crazy fans. I'm not a crazy fan. You can't expect to win that game. We get it. Half the stadium was empty at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Why? Game was over. Game was over. Let's beat traffic. Let's get down to Flannery's now and chug a beer as fast as possible. That's what kind of game it was. And DTR had a rough day. Now, there's two things about this DTR thing. The game itself, he didn't play well, but as a rookie quarterback, 3 interceptions against a team like the Ravens, it's kind of par for the course. His quarterback rating was 25. That's pretty terrible. That's pretty bad. To compare it, Lamar Jackson's was at 142. So 100-point difference. Not good. But a quarterback rating under 50 is pretty bad. His was at 25. 19 out of 36, 121. DTR did not look good today. He looked like a rookie quarterback never played. So before we start declaring the season over, let's not declare that, and let's not declare Dorian Thompson-Robinson's career over too. Thompson-Robinson had a tough day. This is not a fair one-game evaluation. let's give this some time with this kid. This is not fair. They did not prepare him properly for this game. And Stefanski, as I mentioned throughout my first segment rant, did a terrible job getting the play calls ready for him. I'm not going to put too much more into that in this game. Did he look good? No. Were his throws terrible? Yes. Did he look nervous? Yes. Did he look unprepared? Yeah, he did. I don't know what else to say. I'm not going to really rate that game more than that. Got to see more of this kid to get a really determination of what we got here. But I'll tell you that part of the story that even I was a little naive on. That's my fault. I should have been more on it. I will never do this again. So this is my fault, but it's more of a fault of Andrew Berry. Boy, you could have used some Josh Dobbs today. Josh Dobbs maybe gets a win. I'll say it again. I think Josh Dobbs might get a win. He's playing pretty well right now for the Arizona Cardinals. Browns just giving away quarterbacks, giving them away. Josh Dobbs in this game right now, the Niners playing well. Boy, it would have been nice having Josh Dobbs in this game. Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry might have been your two biggest reasons why he lost this game today. Josh Dobbs doesn't have this happen. They might lose. You're not going to get blown like this. Browns got the doors blown off in this game. Cost them. Cost them big time. Andrew Berry takes a ding. Because if you're going to blame DTR, which is fair, I mean, the rookie was not good. You can put A.B., Andrew Berry, right there, too. Not good enough. That's a poor trade. You get these draft picks. Yay! But it doesn't mean anything if you don't win. And boy, the Browns did not win today. Point number 3 is Captain Obvious of why the Browns lost the way they did today. It was talked about all week on Believe in the Land. The one player you can't allow to go off is Lamar Jackson, and the Browns let him go off today. Lamar Jackson, 15 out of 19, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has a very high quarterback rating because he went off. He went off. And throwing Mark Andrews, who, geez, at this point, we're going to be building a statue for him upside down to get the Kavorka out. I mean, Mark Andrews, 5 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, this is not – see, that's where it's frustrating, too. This is not new. That dominant defense had some run-ins today, and that was one of them. Lamar Jackson really played well. I mean, really played well. And the Browns just could not get around it. Lamar Jackson went off. Browns couldn't contain him on certain plays. He had a great game throwing. I don't know. Sometimes the player makes plays. I thought he made great plays in this game. There were some moments, though, where, which we'll get into, where tackling was terrible. But in particular, when Lamar Jackson's throwing, I don't know there's much you could have done. They didn't bring him down enough. They should have sacked him more. Absolutely. But the one thing you can't have in these games is Lamar Jackson going off, and he went off. Can't have that. And the Browns' sloppy play in the first quarter allowed him to get some energy and allowed this game to get some momentum. And the one thing you can't do, the rookie quarterback, is be down 18. And that's what the Browns did. They let Lamar Jackson get loose. So this is one thing he can't do. And that guy got loose. And my gosh, did he go off. Off. Spun the ball around the sand like a globetrotter. Just did whatever he wanted to do. He was great today. And the Browns defense, they slowed him down, but they couldn't. He went off, and he can't let that happen in these games. Can't let it happen. Disappointing. But Lamar Jackson made great throws. He made big plays. Several times he escaped and made big plays downfield. Those are backbreakers. That's point number 3. And point number 4 is the defense, I thought, really allowed that second quarter to get away from him with sloppy tackling and just not able to focus at the task at hand, meaning the task at hand is put Baltimore in a box and force Jackson in tough situations, but they let him run out of the pocket. And then one thing you can't do is let the Ravens run the ball up the middle. And second quarter, they allowed them to do that. Ravens started running wild. Now, did they go off in this game? I wouldn't say they went off. But you give up an Olay touchdown because of terrible play calling, 7-0, and then 14 more points on good drives where they ran and passed the ball well. The Browns got gutted. I mean, John Harbaugh outcoached Stefanski in this game. He ran laps around Kevin, really did. Laps around Kevin Stefanski. He basically told Roman, the offensive coordinator, like, "Hey, look, been down this road with this team. You know what you do? Run the ball up the middle, throw the ball to that big tight end, and let this team run all these stupid plays, and they'll run themselves in the ground. They'll throw some turnovers for rookie quarterback, and we'll get out of here." And that's what they did. You can tell Harbaugh he didn't even break a sweat in this game. And the defense allowed the one thing they couldn't do, Jackson going off and allowing that running game to get going. It didn't go off. It was only 33 for 131, but still way too many yards in that second quarter. It just became big chunk. Guys getting mowed down in big chunks, and just no excuses. Ravens really broke the back there of the Browns defense, and that was jarring. Not good. Not good. And you can't allow a team like that to just gut your defense not for the whole game, but for the second quarter, that defense was gutted. They couldn't stop them. If it wasn't for a fumble recovery, they would have scored again. It might have been 35-3. That's how lucky the Browns were in this game in one sense. Lucky it wasn't more. Just had a very rough day on things like that, and it's too bad because the Browns defense is having a good run, and this is a blip for them. But don't take your eye away from the ball here. The biggest culprit is Stefanski and Andrew Berea not drafting, should have been keeping Josh Dobbs, not trading him. He traded him. Got a draft pick for a loss. Hope it was worth it. Browns are going to have to pick up a victory in Baltimore. Boy, that sounds easy. Gosh. Really, the Browns put themselves really in a tough bind with that loss. Now, the season's not over. The bye week actually is coming at a good time because now they got to really see what they have here with Deshaun Watson. But this loss today is concerning for me with the Deshaun Watson injury 1A, which I want to get to in the next segment. But the bigger thing here is why is Stefanski still not learning? I've seen multiple losses like this where it's like, did you know what's going on today in the game, Kevin? I mean, how did you not know? This play calling, it's just so bad. Oh, makes your neck hurt. It's so bad. Oh, he is so frustrating as a coach. Bad loss as a coach. Yeah, DTR's in there. Okay, that's on your GM. That's the other half of this. Josh Dobbs, I don't know if they lose a game like this. In fact, I'm pretty sure they don't. That was inexplicably bad trade. It already cost you a game, and not just a random game against the Arizona Cardinals in the middle of the season. This is against the Ravens at home, division opponent. A team we loathe as fans. And you know what happened? You got bullied. Baltimore's laughing, throwing helmets around. Browns just take it. Browns just take losses in Steelers and Ravens like a struggling person just trying to get out of the way and just collecting their wooden nickels and going to the corner and just hoping they don't lose a teeth or, loss of life. I mean, the Ravens just laughing and mocking. I don't know if sometimes the Stefanski understands the emotion of Ravens and Steelers. I don't think he does. I'm pretty sure he doesn't. Yep, we keep schlepping them back. Keep getting their butts kicked in these games and keep schlepping them back. This team was not prepared today for the Ravens. And yes, rookie starter, sure. Other things in there, sure, absolutely, all there. But come on, let's perform a little better against a team like that. Just a little better. Browns 3. So bad loss. We're gonna get to, though. There is this thing called the bye week and what's ahead. And when you need to talk about this Deshaun Watson injuries, it's a big deal. Not a little thing going on. Browns lose 28-3. We come back. Let's talk about the bye week, what's ahead, and a Deshaun Watson injury. Welcome back to the Believe in the Land show. My name is Andy Billman. We have paused on this podcast a little bit because I wanted to hear the remarks from Stefanski and from Berea, which we got. So this is recording on Thursday. So it's a little bit disjointed as in Sunday remarks to today, but I think it has a good purpose, and here's why. I think now we have a good explanation here of what happened to Watson. So let's start from the top here. So Browns lose to the Ravens. Terrible loss. Terrible failure in all parts of this team. Stefanski, after the game, made remarks about Watson was cleared to play on Sunday. On Monday, he followed that up again, saying he was medically cleared to play. Wasn't my call. It was Watson's call. And Watson has not spoken all week. Won't hear from him again until the following week. Then Andrew Berea did a State of the Union. And I think for the first time, we're being revealed of what's going on in Berea, which always happens through tea leaves. Amazingly, usually through the GM press conference or the head coach press conference, we finally get a little bit of the behind the scenes of what's really going on. Andrew Berea came out in one of his answers and said, look, it was really a decision by all of us. We all believed, including Deshaun, that he was playing on Friday before the Sunday game against the Ravens. We all showed up to the park on Sunday, and he wasn't ready to go. It was a group decision, unlike Stefanski saying it was on Watson. That's a disconnect. I like these two as people, but there's a disconnect here. And I think it's time to start wondering, when is Stefanski going to be leaving Cleveland, Ohio? Because that's a big disconnect. That's a huge disconnect. Andrew Berea's story to me makes sense. We all thought he was playing on Friday. We all felt really good about he's playing on Friday. We knew there was a chance he may not, but we all felt pretty good. Then along came Sunday morning. He didn't look good. We all decided, not just Deshaun, we all decided, hey, he can't play. That is very contradictory to Kevin. It feels like Stefanski is protecting himself for having such a poor performance as what happened on Sunday. It makes a lot of sense to me, actually. Let's fast forward some more. Then Andrew Berea, in a State of the Union, said glowing things about Jim Schwartz. Said some nice things about Boba Ventrone. Didn't really say much about Kevin Stefanski. Didn't really give much into what his vibe is on Stefanski. I think there's a big disconnect here, and I think Kevin Stefanski's tenure is winding down if the losses continue. Basically, Berea's saying, look, I don't know what happened on Sunday, but I'm not protecting him. That was bleh. Stefanski needs to be aware he's got to start winning games. This is a defensive first team now, with a passing game second and a running game third, because we can't seem to run the ball. That's what this team is going forward. You can't turn over the ball. They keep turning over the ball. They have to stop turning over the ball. Here's the good news for the Browns. Even with all this drama, and there's real drama going on in Berea now, the Browns have an easier schedule after the Niners. They play coming up in future weeks the Cardinals, Broncos, Bears, Texans. You're probably going to win a good share of those games, if not all of them. The Steelers and the Bengals look like a disaster. Throw in some tough wins in there, and you can see how the Browns get the 10 wins. It's not impossible. This team's too talented to say it's over. But the drama is here, and I'm hoping the drama eases off. There needs to be some transparency in the Berea offices about what's going on here. Hopefully, they can do that. This bye week did come at a good time. And now more than ever, they have to do what it takes to get Watson back on the field. And hopefully Watson's healing over this break. It's very, very key. Next week, we'll go into where we're at team-wise and everything else into the bye before they play the Niners the following week. Francona, he stepped down officially on Tuesday after what was a – talk about your bizarre tap dances. Still don't quite understand why they just didn't announce it sooner. Very bizarre leaving. But he left. I'm glad for Tito that he got to do it his way. He is staying on the organization. I don't think Francona is going anywhere else. Let's start off there. I think this is his job. I don't see a guy who's really motivated to manage at all. See a guy who's motivated to hit golf balls and put flip-flops on. I think that's the role for Tito Francona going forward. Let's just start there. He had a wonderful career here. He made this organization very relevant. To have as much wins and have as much playoff appearances is remarkable. He really squeezed the juice on many teams and got maximum production, especially in the 16, 17 years. Those two teams were very high accomplishing teams, but he got the maximum he could out of both teams. I know the playoffs didn't end the way it was supposed to, but Kluber being hurt played a big part of that, but I'm not going to replay history right now on that. That said, I thought 16, 17, he got the maximum he could out of those two teams. He brought a personality to the Guardians, which for years before didn't really have a personality. Eric Wedge and Manny Acta and the players that came through, we had Sabathia, we had several other Pronk years. We had those guys, Grady Sizemores. But to be fair, I don't know if the Indians had any personality. Terry brought a personality to the Indians and Guardians. He really did. With his riding scooter, and I think he taught this front office a lot. And that's where I'm hoping it translates in the future. I think Francona gave them a lot of knowledge. A lot of, presence about how important a manager is and how he's just not another pawn on a chessboard. He's a lot more power than that. And I know Antonetti's expressed that throughout, that he's learned a lot about how important a manager is. And he isn't very important. Francona is probably the best manager who's ever managed a Cleveland baseball organization. Boudreaux, Hargrove, Speaker will be brought up. I think he's better than those guys. And I love Grover. I think he's better than Grover. You can argue about Boudreaux and Speaker very, very admirably. Both won World Series as a player coach. But that's kind of where we are with the Guardians in the annals of history. One of our best managers of all time stepping down. The Guardians have not been secretive. They're casting a wide net to try to find their next coach. It is wide. 40 people deep. That's a lot of people. Clearly, it's going to be a while. I'm hoping to hear some more. I haven't heard anything about the process so far. Outside that we know Sandy Alomar Jr. is not coming back as a manager. He's going to be coming back as a first base coach and a bench coach. He is not coming back anything more or less than that. More to come. The Francona era is over. It's very sad. He brought so much winning mentality to this town. He brought a personality to this town. So it's a big loss for the city. Big loss. Big loss for all of us. And that's the Cleveland Guardians and Terry Francona. Finally, we also had the beginning of the Cavs. People should not be surprised that Donovan Mitchell didn't sign a contract. I'm glad that didn't really get picked up as much. It's really not a news story. He's holding out because he wants more money. And he can make more money next year. So why would you ever sign a contract if you know you're getting the money no matter what? And your chances of making more money is actually 100%. So if you hold off, you're going to get more money anyways. You know, there is a sense of needing to make maximum money. That makes sense to me. So he is holding out for maximum money, as he should, especially in a sport where you can get injured at any time. You want that max value. So that makes sense to me. The Cavs seem to be very upbeat. There's a lot of changes in the East. The Celtics got a lot better with the trade of Drew Holiday, and obviously the Bucks got a lot better with Damian Lillard. They are by far Team A and Team B. And there's a clear divide between them and the rest of the East. And they're in that group of four. I think the Sixers, the Heat, the Knicks, and the Cavs are kind of that next level. We'll have to see if they can get above and top layer of that level, but that's really the underbelly of the East. It's 1 and 2, a group of four, then everybody else. And the Cavs are in that group of four. Hopefully they can figure out how to win in that top four. We'll do more in the Cavs as we get through the preseason. Tumultuous week for our Browns. Been a long week. Hopefully this settles down. It's a mess right now and it's drama-filled. There's a lot of drama. But unlike past years, the talent and what's there, it is possible to still win. Can the Browns put it together and win? We're going to find out. In other years, I would wave the white flag. I don't think I'm waving the white flag just yet. And because Kevin Stefanski needs to really look in his inner self and saying, what do we need to do to win? Now, what do I need to do to look like an offensive genius? That's the week that was in Cleveland sports. My name is Andy Billman. See you here next week.